Hello everyone. My name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is June 14th, 2022, and I'm coming to you again for the second time for the Tuesday live stream. Welcome one and all. All right, let me just check that we're streaming properly. And make sure to like up the stream once you get in, and to just give a shout out in the comments just so I know who's here. Shout out in the comments. Perfect. So we're here. Okay. So yeah, today I want to talk about why I think one could argue that this is the best buying opportunity ever in crypto. And that is not hyperbolic, okay? I think that you can argue, you can make a sound argument as to why this is the best buying opportunity in the 13-year history of cryptocurrency, right? And when I say the best buying opportunity, I'm not just referring to Bitcoin. Obviously, if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll probably know my long-term analysis on Bitcoin, right? It's not I don't think we're at a macro bottom of Bitcoin. I think we're at a local bottom. We're not at a macro bottom, okay? I do think we will revisit these lows and dip down even further, and I'm going to show that in a moment. But generally speaking, in the cryptocurrency space, looking at a lot of altcoin projects, this is arguably the best buying opportunity. All right, so we're gonna go into that. Hi Ray, start to DCA. Ray says start to DCA. Definitely great financial advice. All right, not financial advice, but great advice nonetheless. All right, so let's get into it. First, let's just start off by having a look at what Bitcoin's doing, right? Because we do that anyway all the time. And right now we're at about 21.9, okay? We're playing with this level, and it looks like, so we did hit a low here. I said I thought this was the low at around 20,000, in the 20,000 region, because once I turned on my VPVR, my horizontal volume indicator, okay, and if you zoom out, you can see there was quite a bit of support at 20K. It was either support up at 21 or at 20. So let's see if we can't get that reflected in the VPVR here. We'll have to zoom out a bit. Okay, go on the higher time frames. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there is some support here, okay? There's a bit of a gap right here, but there's a small bit of support here right at 21K, and then again at right under 20K, okay? I don't necessarily think we go there. We could, okay, as I showed this morning, right? If you take the Fibonacci retracement of this wave right here, you see that the 16185 ratio is at 18,290. So anywhere in this region is fair game, but I don't necessarily think that we get here. As I said this morning, I count 5 waves down. So right now, you would technically be, if that analysis is correct, right now you would technically be in a reversal, okay? So you're making your way, you're pretty much turning around, right? Price actions looking to pivot up and out of this region. So that's basically what I'm seeing. So dropping down into the smaller time frames once again. So let's go down into the hourly. And I hope everybody's having a great day today. Just like I always say, I'm big on reversal patterns on this page, or on this channel. I talk about them all the time, and I see them through the lens of Elliott wave theory, okay? And, I see here something like this, okay? right? My A wave always targets wave 4 of the previous trend. So look, this is the hourly time frame, and I'm not seeing 3 waves here. Maybe there are 3 waves, but I'm gonna drop down in the 30-minute time frame. Okay, I see 3 waves, but okay, here it is. Here it is, right here. 1, 2, 3. See, sometimes you gotta drop down. I do see 3 waves. Okay, so that's possible, but again, just like we saw a couple days ago, you could get an A wave to do that. This may be wave B of A, right? You could that's possible. So you don't know. But right now, as I see it, all right, what's possible? Actually, to be honest with you, to be quite honest with you all, I think this is most likely, right? Just based on my experience, based on what, looking at these things for so long, I think this is what you're going to get. Something like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did something like this in Bitcoin. If this is going to be, even if this is a zigzag, okay, 535, we come here, but that could also break up even further if it's a zigzag. But still, let's say we just target wave 4 of the previous trend. You're going to, if you want to reverse, you're going to have to put in that full pattern, okay, whatever this is. I don't know if it's going to be a flat correction. It may be a flat correction. Remember, in wave 4 up there, this region right here was a complex correction. So, we've seen that before. Kind of price takes its time once it's at this level and you really don't know what's going on, right? It kind of dilly-dallies here and then finally breaks down. We've seen that a bunch of times. I've seen that so many times. Just waiting for that reversal to happen. So this is just, I don't know if this is going to happen, but this is just likely, in my estimation. I would not be surprised if this happened right here, something like this, and then finally one final pivot. But again, this is pure speculation because I won't know, in these reversal patterns, each and every pattern can either be a flat correction, a zigzag correction, or a triangle correction, and then variations of those, right? So I don't know. But, I need, before price just starts going back up, you need some sort of reversal pattern, right? You need some sort of consolidation. So I won't be surprised if Bitcoin spends its time for a number of days to do that. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I won't be surprised. And so if you just look, just to compare really quickly, let's just look at a major altcoin like Cardano. What has it done in its reversal pattern after reaching its low, right here. So this was the low on Cardano, yeah, right here, let's say around 40 cents, and after that it took approximately, it's been 32 days, like 32 days, yeah, you have consolidation. So you get your, as I've shown so many times, your A wave, and this could be the A wave, or this can be the A wave. Okay, not really sure. Still not really sure. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments. Sorry, I just got distracted by a comment on another video, but I'm here with you right here and now. Let's see. Let's go back to where I was. Sorry for that distraction. Here we go. Okay. Osman, how are you? Osman says, I added at 28K. I bought the dip yesterday, and I feel like we may be picking up some more if it hits 18K or lower. Congrats. So in any case, in Cardano, right, you have some initial break of structure. Perhaps this is the B wave. Perhaps this is another. This is the A wave of the pivot, and this is the B wave of the pivot. Perhaps that gives you your triple bottom that you usually see in reversals. Okay, not exactly sure, but that's likely. That's a likely read on that reversal. But why did I come to Cardano? Just to show that this all took from when it hit the bottom 30 days. It took 30 days. So I'm not expecting it to be 30 days on the dot, but that's not out of the realm of possibility. When you're looking at Bitcoin and okay, let's say we did make a low, how long can we expect to just hang out here, right? Once again, I would not be surprised if it took all of 30 days, okay, which would be a lot longer than this. But anyway, you get the gist. So while Bitcoin's doing all of this, okay, let's say Bitcoin did take its time to consolidate in this region for a month's time. At the same time, because of what you're seeing right now in the market, if you go to a general watch list, you'll see some positive price action, okay? It's not completely all green, okay, and you don't have massive gains, but, Bitcoin is down, 2% for the day, and a bunch of things, even on my small kind of personal watch list, are up, okay? Not everything, but a bunch of things are up. So this just shows you that there is some disconnect, there is some decoupling, if you will, of Bitcoin and other altcoins. And when do you see that? During alt season, okay? And that's reflected once again in Bitcoin dominance. You see, Bitcoin dominance right? Which allows, right? Basically, this Bitcoin dominance basically shows you what's happening in the market. And if you just look at the dominance chart, you see that we were at resistance right here, okay? Because every single time we came up here, we got rejected, came up here, got rejected, came up here with 3 waves, right? 3 waves, according to Elliott wave theory, that's always corrective. So this, you can say, all of this is kind of some sort of, what would you call it? Some sort of correction, like an intra-wave correction, yeah? So I could expect coming back down all the way here, and then a quick move up. Why? Once again, according to Elliott wave theory, every correction ends in impulse, okay? If it's a double 3 or triple 3, or a simple correction, right? It doesn't necessarily matter, or combination thereof. Every correction always goes either W, X, Y, and that Y is impulsive, A, B, C, and that C is impulsive, or W, X, Y, X, Z, and that Z is impulsive. So I need pure impulse to end this correction if this is indeed an intra-wave correction. The fact that I have 3 waves here lets me know that I won't be surprised if we tag either the bottom of this range or even the 618, right? In the case of an X2, for instance, if it's a triple 3, and then a move up before really heading down, okay? So that's what I'm seeing on the charts, on the dominance chart. And the dominance chart's cool, once again, because it's just showing us, it's just a derivative of what you're seeing on your watch lists. You're seeing Bitcoin down, but altcoins up? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Usually you don't see that, right? That's just what we call, alt season, right? A temporary decoupling of the markets, because everything happens in cycles, right? And Elliott wave theory is predicated on cycles and understanding the cycles that markets move in. And markets move in cycles that are reflective of humans' greed and fear and their buying habits and their selling habits and all that stuff. So this is all natural stuff, yeah? And if all things are the same, and an asset like Ravane is sold and sold and sold, and it does 5 waves and impulse, it's only natural that it consolidate and then turn around, because nothing goes in a straight line, and things go up and down in their own cycle. So this is basically what I'm seeing. Okay, now you're here because I said that this was the best buying opportunity for crypto ever. Okay, and that isn't necessarily being hyperbolic, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, now before I go into that, I'm just going to say one thing, because some of you may say, hey Dean, that sounds great and all, and maybe that got people to click, but you're being dishonest in that you said, I've subscribed to the channel for quite some time, and I know that you think that Bitcoin may be going up and may test 100K or 103K, right? Your phi ratio up here for this range. Let's just delineate it really quickly. And guys, don't forget to like the stream if you're getting value, please. And comment, let me know who's here. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This is the forum for your comments. I don't have to wait to reply to you. We can have a conversation. So anyway, we're testing the tops of these ranges. Yes, I still believe that. But after testing the tops of these ranges, I do believe that we stop, pivot, and then give an impulse, because every correction needs an impulse to end it, okay? And if the prevailing trend is up, the correction is going to be down, okay? So that's why this impulse isn't the end of the correction, right? This impulse would be the end of the correction. And this is not impulsive. This is 3 waves, very clearly, 3 waves, right? There's 3 waves here that you can see very clearly. 1, 2, 3. 3 waves in the intermediary, in the interstice right here, and then 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending diagonal. This kind of threw a lot of people off. This wick right here, right? It looks like the end of a trend, but that's fair game in an ending diagonal, and that threw me off personally. But if you look at Ethereum, you'll see the same thing, and it's a little easier to read. Okay, so end of the day, this is a great buying opportunity. However, I still do believe, right, very, very simply, if you take your Fibonacci retracement, you just wick the 382, but given your wave count here, and given, just the overall structure of this flat correction, I think that we're coming back to not only the 22K region, but also we may go as far down as the 12K region before it's all said and done. So, are you going to wait to buy Bitcoin until, you go up and then come back down? Or will you buy here? When I say buy Bitcoin, again, we look at Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. So, although this is a nice move, right, from here to there, and probably more, that's, a few 100% in Bitcoin, that's great. But I'm not investing in Bitcoin directly if I'm trying to create wealth. I'm going to look at some smaller cap altcoins that give a higher return on investment and that are not necessarily capped by a phi ratio because they're no longer in correction. Bitcoin is still in correction. This flat correction is not yet over, even if we do hit 100K. I've explained that before. If you have any questions on that, definitely let me know. But that's my view. That's why I think this is a historical buying opportunity. And yes, you can take Bitcoin all the way from 20K, where we are, to 100K. But if you hold it and hold it back down to 12K, that's not the best buying opportunity. But the opportunity of opportunities is in the altcoins. This is why I want to focus in on altcoins, and it's altcoin season, okay? So that's where I'm going to go next with my analysis. So let me just stop for a second and read comments. Okay, no new comments. That's cool. Now, if it is one of the best opportunities, why? Okay, very simply, before getting off of Bitcoin, what we're going to do is we're going to go on a really high time frame view. Okay, I'm going to go on the monthly time frame. Not many things are done on the monthly time frame, all right, other than like large high time frame analysis, because it's hard to trade, right? It's it's just, I think it's a bit high to make buying and selling decisions. But on the really high time frames, one of the things that you can see, and what's really interesting, is to look at the Stochastic RSI. This is one of my favorite indicators. It shows you momentum, okay? And the Stochastic RSI has, on the monthly chart, has only 3 times in Bitcoin's 13-year history been bottomed out. Okay, obviously maybe 4 times when it first started. But after it started going, you had one bottoming out that happened in April of 14, okay? And it lasted some time into, June, July of 2015. You had another bottoming in April of 2018, right? And then it lasted until April 2019, all right? And then you had it once more right now in 22, okay? And this is what people call, this is what a lot of people refer to as a 4-year cycle. It just so happens that every 4 years, maybe related to the halving, it may be related to some other phenomena in Bitcoin's sort of tokenomics, if you will, but there are a few times in Bitcoin's history that it's bottomed out on the Stochastic RSI like this and presented such a massive buying opportunity, right? So if we just look at the gains from these times, like the first time, let's say you bought in this region, right? You bought somewhere here. The next time, that's basically 8,500% increase, okay, from where you bought the low of that move, okay? So 8,500% from that low. The next low right here, and let's say even if you bought the top of this move, this is why, you don't have to be perfect in catching the bottoms. But even if you bought the top of this right here, as long as this momentum indicator is bottomed out, that was a great buy because that presented an 1,800% move, okay? And so this is the next sort of buying opportunity, and I don't think that, personally, from my analysis, you're going to get much in Bitcoin, just a few 100%. As you know, we're capped at the phi ratio, which is at around 103,000. So that's like, a few 100%, 200-300%. But this basically shows you where the market is, as Bitcoin is a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. It has such a large crypto market cap, dominance, right? Dominance percentage, basically the percentage of the total crypto market cap. So as it goes, the rest of the market goes, more or less. So this is why looking at Bitcoin and looking at when the best historical buying opportunities were, you would get probably some good outsized returns. Now, I know you're asking, Dean, hold up. You just showed on this chart, I'm old enough to remember 2 minutes ago, where you said if you had bought in the summer of 2014, you get something like 8,000% return. And then if you bought in the summer of 2018, you get something like 3,000%. And you're saying now if we buy, we get a few 100%. Then how the hell is this the best buying opportunity in history? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I get you. Hear me out though. Although this represents one of the lowest kind of returns of a bottoming of momentum on the monthly chart for Bitcoin, okay? I do believe that you're not necessarily going to get much here. And actually, I think this monthly chart, this monthly momentum is not going to move much as we head towards 100K. Okay, I think we're still going to be bottomed out. So I may not be proven wrong. This may be the best in history. As we go up and back down, okay, sorry about that. As we go up and back down into the teens, I think this is going to stay put here, okay? And then the next move up is going to be much greater than your 8,000, much greater than your 3,000. However, in the time that it takes Bitcoin to test six figures, come back down into the teens, altcoins will have left the station, okay? And you see the beginnings of that. This is what I'm saying. Look at dominance. Look at what can happen. Let's just go back to this dominance chart for a second. I'm getting excited because look, I don't know if people really understand, okay? I'm zoomed out on the monthly chart. If this is true, and we're counting 5 waves, right? Of course, dominance isn't some openly traded asset on the open market, right? Like it's just it's a measure of how Bitcoin is doing vis-a-vis altcoins, you know, in terms of market cap. However, if you look at this and you can see waves, then you can kind of chart it. And this is 1, 2, 3. If this is 4, 2 is simple, 4 is complex, law of alternation. All these things hold true because you're dealing with markets, you're dealing with people, and this is also a reflection of people's greed and fear and buying habits and all that stuff. If we reject off of this, imagine the drop from here to there or even lower. Bitcoin dominance can come as low as maybe 30%. Do you understand what that means for the altcoin market? Like, do people really understand? Like, even this, right? People who are Bitcoin maximalists, they hate this. They absolutely hate this because this is proof positive that the money to be made in cryptocurrency is in altcoins. And there are good, reputable, fundamentally sound altcoins to invest in. But I think it's just a lazy take to say it's Bitcoin and only Bitcoin. Everybody loves Bitcoin. Bitcoin's great. But there's wealth creation and wealth preservation. If you're into wealth creation, even the big venture capitalist firms understand this. You want to direct your attention to altcoins. And this is going to be the opportunity of a lifetime. As I said, judging from the zoomed in chart here, I think we're going to do something like this. Okay? So we're going to go down, come back up again, and then go back down. This move alone from where we are now, 45, to the base of 40 or 42 is going to be massive. Okay, that's where I'm saying it's the opportunity of a lifetime. And let's go back to our charts for our assets, okay? Cardano, for instance, it's number 3. It's not a small project. It's number 3, I believe, at the moment. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but number 3 in terms of total crypto cap or crypto market cap, right? And so it's not a small project. It's quite fundamentally sound, you know, it's a legitimate project with, you know, government contracts and all that stuff. I'm on its chart, the oldest chart I could possibly find. It only goes back as far as 2020. So this goes back to my point. This is the best opportunity we've ever had. Best buying opportunity in crypto. Right? I'm on the monthly chart on Cardano, and you don't even see Stochastic Rsi data. Why? Because it's so young, there's not enough data to show you anything on momentum for the monthly chart. Do you see where I'm going here? Bitcoin, when it was created in 2008, 2009, right, there was nothing else. There were few other competitors. Even in 2017, when I got into cryptocurrency, in order to buy Cardano, I wasn't buying Cardano, in order to buy Litecoin, in order to buy XRP, I had to buy Bitcoin and then sell it directly for that other altcoin. There were no stable coins. No USDT, no USDC, no nothing when I first got into crypto 5 years ago. So this is why this is the best opportunity of a lifetime. More liquidity than ever. And a lot of these projects weren't even around. So when you look at Bitcoin's price action, right, and you look at, you know, the momentum in 2014 and 2015 bottomed out, yes, these were great buying opportunities, but guess what? Not much else was around. to take advantage of. Bitcoin was one of the only games in town. Okay? So this is why this is one of the best opportunities. Also, you're looking at risk reward. You always want to think in terms of risk reward. You're buying Bitcoin when it first comes out, may very well go to zero. It probably did go to zero once or twice, or came very close. Okay, it was probably it was being threatened to be shut down by regulators and so on and so forth. You're just taking a massive risk, right? Although it's not anything, it doesn't cost much, right? It doesn't have that much value, perceived value, but it can either go to zero or do what it did. You don't know, okay? Fast forward to the 2018, okay? Started to get some traction. It's in the thousands. All right, the market, the space is growing, but you're still not there where altcoins and other opportunities exist, okay? Those only came after this rise, okay? This is why I'm saying this is the best opportunity ever, because you have trading view. You are able to look at your charts and read them. You have YouTube, and you have all of these opportunities to learn about the fundamentals of all of these assets. You're not buying blind, right? And the space is popular enough that there's traction in it. There's a lot of money coming in it. This is why I argue that this is the best buying opportunity in crypto's history. Because if you're investing in altcoins like ADA, I'm using ADA because it's a big altcoin, okay? It's not a small altcoin. Unlike Bitcoin, you've already put in your correction. Right here, this yellow ABC flat correction is the entirety of Cardano's correction. And let me prove it to you. You take your Fibonacci retracement tool from the bottom to the top of this 5-wave sequence, okay? What most people who are in, who study technical analysis, who know a little bit about Elliott wave theory can tell you is that impulses happen in 5 and corrections happen in 3. Also, that wave 2 typically retraces to a minimum of 382 and to a maximum of the 618 of the prevailing 5-wave impulse. So you see this 3-wave move has come into the golden pocket right here, not necessarily at the 618, but at the 0.5, where most of these wave 2 retracements end up, right between the 382 and the 618. So you're right around 40 cents, okay? And what comes next? Unlike Bitcoin, that is capped because it's still in its wave 2 retracement, right? So it's capped by a phi ratio because you're still in a B wave essentially. Cardano's next target is in the $113. Okay, I know this because I've done it before. And very simply, you would just take a Fibonacci extension tool, right? From the bottom of this wave 1 to the top, and the retracement of wave 2, and you see your phi ratio, let's just be more precise. Let's use a magnet. You see it's at 113. So that is literally your next viable, realistic, probabilistic, mathematical target for Cardano. That is an insane buying opportunity. Okay? Not one that you necessarily had here because who knew, right? Who knew? Who knew about Cardano back in 2020? Who knew that it was going to be a serious project, that it was going to, have the staying power, that it was going to be able to appreciate? This is much like, investing on small time frames or trading on small time frames. You let wave one play out, wave 2 play out. You get in for wave 3. Most Elliott wave traders will tell you, get in for wave 3 because wave 3 is typically the longest, the largest, and the most impulsive of the Elliott waves. So don't try to get everything. You just wait for wave 2 to confirm the trend. That's the beginning of the trend. This is the confirmation. Wave 3 is the big kahuna. And that is why, and most of the market, not everything, but most of the market of altcoins are in this situation where you've completed wave 2. And so the next move is not capped. Okay? So back to Bitcoin. As Bitcoin is taking its time consolidating at this low and making its way up, slowly matriculating to its phi ratio, or testing the 6 figures, right, to complete this B wave, right? This is the B wave I'm talking about. To complete this B wave and then pivot, right? In the time it takes Bitcoin to do all of that, you may very well see your favorite altcoins, your Cardanos, your Dodos, your reserve rights hit their wave 3. This is why this is historically the best buying opportunity. And yeah, you can't directly go on the monthly chart and analyze a lot of these altcoins because look, there is no data. They haven't existed for long enough. So you need to use Bitcoin as a proxy and make sense of where we're at in this market. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm just gonna have a look in the comments, and definitely like the stream if you haven't yet, and yeah, do all that good stuff. Subscribe if you're getting value, all that stuff. Crypto Elf of Rivendell says 300 week MA. Okay, yeah, you know, a lot of this can be corroborated, and if I'm gonna use moving averages and stuff, I'm gonna go into the BLX, or the this chart of Bitcoin that is basically Bitcoin from when it was a penny. It's a little more accurate in that sense. Okay, this is what I use for analysis, and you can see that literally it has Bitcoin trading at a penny. All right, and if you turn on, so the moving averages, I like to use our exponential moving averages, just because there's a little less lag there, and I like to use Fibonacci numbers, so I use the 21, the 55, and the 144, and you can see a lot of this stuff reflected in your EMAs, right? So Crypto Alpha Rivendell says 300 week MA. I don't know the significance of that. A lot of people talk about the 200 week moving average and stuff like that, but yeah, this is an epic, historically great buying opportunity, okay, for a lot of reasons. All right, Dennis Pena says, you guess it will continue to go down. What are you referring to, Dennis? Are you referring to Bitcoin specifically, or altcoins? What are you referring to? What's it? But yeah, it's essentially my whole strategy ever since around 33 to 35k. I've been bullish since about here. And some of you may laugh and say, oh wow, you know, you're probably underwater a bunch. Not that much. And I'm actually really happy with these buys because I've been DCAing ever since right here. And I think this is good because I've noticed that we've been pretty much at a bottom, right? We're here. This is how great this buying opportunity is. And you don't see it all the time. So I'm on the monthly, right? Hold up 1 second. So I'm on the monthly and we're oversold on the monthly. If I switch to the weekly, we're oversold on the weekly. If I switch to the daily, we're oversold on the daily and we're about to cross bullish. Do you see what I mean? Like, you don't typically get all the large major time frames in concert being completely oversold. That means, like, this is one of the best times to buy. And let's not, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, we're in extreme fear, and we've been in extreme fear. Pretty much extreme fear in the fear and greed index is anything from 0 to 25, okay? And for those of you who don't know about this, just go look into bitcoin.com and you can see for yourselves. Anytime you're in extreme fear is typically a great time to buy, right? This is, you know, the old adage, the old investing adage, you buy fear and you sell greed. Every time you see extreme fear here it's followed by a historical rally. Okay, extreme fear, historical rally, extreme fear, historical rally. You had some fear here, like one day of extreme fear, you got a little bit of a rally, but here you have a constellation of extreme fear. You've had extreme fear since I started buying, right? And I didn't even look directly into the fear and greed index. I don't trade that way, but just using my technical analysis, it's consistent with what this chart is showing. Like from the mid 30s, since we've been in extreme fear, I've expected a bounce. I've expected a run up of this B wave. I just didn't know how this B wave is going to be structured exactly, but I've been expecting some big bounce ever since here. So I've been dollar cost averaging essentially, right? Not like dollar cost averaging blindly, but basically buying major support with whatever I could afford, this whole time, basically waiting and seeing, okay, is that a reversal pattern? No, that's a wave 4. Is that a reversal pattern? No, that's a wave B. It's fine. But I've been building positions ever since, and that is consistent with this chart showing that we've been in extreme fear from that time. And right, this constellation of extreme fear, it doesn't last that long. You see here it lasted this, you can just see the number of clusters of days that we spend in extreme fear. It's around the same every single time before popping out. So I do expect a move back up, just given sentiment. And I mean, you can go in crypto Twitter if you want to and just see people are devastated, right? It's not only that people are devastated, like individuals, you have companies going under because they're over leveraged, like a Celsius, like even Coinbase, one of the pillars of cryptocurrency in the United States. It just laid off 18% of its workforce. 18%. That's about 1,100 people, because a lot of their revenue comes from, appreciation of cryptocurrencies that they hold. And nobody wants to invest, and nobody's making money when the market's going down unless you're shorting or something like that, right? And most of their strategy is just buying and holding. So, people are hemorrhaging, and it's a difficult time. And some people are quitting the space, and this is exactly when you want to buy, right? These are the opportunities when people are throwing their hands up and saying, crypto is dead and nobody wants to work in crypto anymore and it's too risky, it's too dangerous. That's precisely when you want to allocate resources and take positions. And those tend to pay off quite handsomely in terms of asymmetric gains to the upside. Yeah. So, that's pretty much it for me. That's why I think that this is historically great time to buy. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's see. Let's go into a smaller time frame, see what Bitcoin is doing. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if we got something like this right here. As an A wave, okay. So we'd get a bit of a pump to like 24K, right, to meet this wave 4, because this right here is wave 4. You can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you want to meet wave 4 of the previous trend in your initial break of structure, and that's a 3-wave move. Then after that, some consolidation of some sort, and then a retest, and then a pivot up. But while Bitcoin's doing all of that, I am expecting the altcoin space to really make some noise, to make some headway. Let's see if anything started running. So this Cardano is looking very good in terms of a breakout and retest. Okay, if you look at this W pattern right here, that's the neckline. This is the breakout. This is the retest of this neckline. I can draw that a little better. I'm going to use the line tool. Right there. So I'm seeing some sort of breakout, a retest, and then perhaps, most likely, some continuation. Whoops, I can't draw a straight line. There we go. Some continuation in Cardano. Okay, that is imminent if this holds, because we've retested this neckline right here. Yeah. Ravane, something similar. Ravane's chart is always a little pixelated because there's not as much volume, but you can see here the same type of thing that you saw in Cardano just now. You had a breakout and a retest, and now perhaps some continuation. I wouldn't be surprised if you got that. Yeah. Telcoin. Here we get. Let's see. So in Telcoin, this can continue to come down, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was your this was the correction right here. This flat correction was sufficient for this pivot right here. And so the continuation would be from here. Okay. If we came down once again, it's possible, but I don't see how that would work. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing in Telcoin. We already looked at Cardano, reserve rights. Reserve rights. Looks like this. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. Okay, interesting. So reserve rights from the beginning, and this is the beginning of the reversal right here. That was the absolute low. Okay? It's ever since it's been putting in it put in a zigzag to begin with, a 535, okay? And then after that, so that was big A. And after that, you had a three wave move, okay, for B. And I think that your pivot was like this, A, B, and this is basically your breakout right here. It's likely. So this would be small a, that would be small b. What I find interesting in RSR is that once you take your Fibonacci retracement of this entire wave up and retracement, it takes you to the 618 almost exactly. So it's a perfect retest of the golden mean right here, 1, 2, 3, and so you're pivoting up and out of that. So all of this is basically retesting. It's retesting the 618 of that. So I do expect some continuation here because it looks like we've held and we've been holding, and we will continue to hold the 618 in RSR. Let me just see if anybody has anything to say. Okay, and Dodo looks like we are doing So I did see in Dodo a 3-wave move here. B, I saw a 333 correction, okay? And then for the pivot, I think the pivot starts here. I see this as my pivot. I guess you put that as A. And then that's my B wave right here. Actually, my B wave is this flat correction right here. And so I'm seeing all of this as my leading diagonal up and out for Dodo. Okay, so I do think these breakouts are very near given where we're at and given where we've been. Okay, like ever since, you know, May, actually a month ago, right? It's June 14th. About a month ago, we've been in this reversal pattern pretty much up and down in these ranges, preparing for a breakout. And I think here you're just dipping under, and the Wyckoff people will tell you that this is like the spring. If you study Wyckoff, you know that there's something called a spring. This is, you're testing the absolute bottom of a range and going even below, and you're basically fundamentally testing if there are any sellers left, and only after that do you get your big move up and out. So this is what I'm seeing in Dodo. And Cardano, let's see what's going on here. Okay, this is, let's see. Does this breach the 618? It's still at the 618. So this may be, and I said that this morning, I wouldn't be surprised if in Cardano, if you look at the entire reversal pattern from the beginning, when it hit its bottom at 40 cents, right? I would not be surprised if this entire thing was A. Okay? Just because, again, you're trying to look at where wave 4 of the previous trend is. And let me undo this. Let's go into a higher time frame. Here we go. So that's clearly the end of an intra-wave correction right here. Okay, so my wave of interest is here. So I'm going to break that down. Okay, I'm going to jump back into the hourly time frame. And looks like it's a bit messy. Okay, looks like that is a, that's really hard to make heads or tails out of on the hourly. It's a little easier. Hard to count. Not gonna lie, hard to count. But if I'm looking at this last bit right here, I think this is it right here. This is my wave 4 of this wave right here. So I think this is the end of A, just because you're meeting wave 4 right here, and I think this falls a bit short. Although it's the beginning, it falls a bit short. So I would say that this is A in Cardano, this is B, and this may be your pivot right here that you're putting in. Yeah. So just zooming in on that pivot, go back into the smaller time frames. It may just be this right here. This is your A. This is your B. And then here's your wave 1. This is your wave 2. This can only be true, and so this is the contingency. This is only true if this holds. We literally can't violate this 618 right here, or else it can no longer be a wave 2 correction. You see what I mean? Like you have your 3-wave correction here of this impulse, right? Let's say this is your wave 1 impulse. A wave 2 in a regular 53535 wave progression can't come below the 618. The only way it can is if it's a leading diagonal. You don't see those all the time, right? It's possible it can be a leading diagonal, in which case, wave 2 doesn't have to respect the 618. It just has to stay above the point of origin of wave 1. But typically, normally, you're getting a regular 53535 wave extension impulse. So I would look in Cardano for a bounce right here, just right here. Is there anything else anybody wants to look at? Osman says, I put my money on FTM, AVAX, VRA, Gala, and Seek. Some Matic as well as Harmony. If BTC goes down more, I will buy ETH and BTC or BTC as well. That's really smart, Osman. And I probably would be the same, right? I do think that there's just so far BTC and ETH can go. Like, for instance, just looking at this and going on to larger time frames. Like I said before, this is where I buy ETH. This green box is where I plan to buy ETH, where I plan to buy all my NFTs that I'm investing in, okay? If we were to come down into this box, basically my idea of this not being an impulse would be wrong, okay? The only way we move up from here is if what I'm saying, both in Bitcoin and Ethereum, is that this is a 3-wave move right here. This is 1, 2, 3. This is a 3-wave move. It's corrective. It's not the final move for this flat correction. So we need one more move up. And then, so this is where I make some money and I sell towards the top, and then I buy back in this region. So that's my plan for Ethereum. Not all altcoins are going to be still in this flat correction, but Ethereum's one of those, kind of like Bitcoin, that's still in it, I believe. And so yeah, if it goes down lower, I think it's really smart to buy, because you're basically getting into the 382618 region of this prevailing impulse. So that would be a really smart thing to do, Osman. Osman also says, I actually had ADA, but when it moved up while others went down, I couldn't resist selling it and putting the money into other alts. Really smart, really smart. And now that it's gone down so much, you know that it's probably already completed its correction. And then Osman continues to say, every single time after all-time high, it made 3 waves down on macro level like ABC waves. Now we are in the third and last wave down based on that, but I am not as experienced as you, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, but you're doing exactly what you should do, right? You're kind of using common sense. If something moves down and fundamentally it's still sound, then it's probably in a different point, at a different point in its cycle, and so it's probably a good idea to buy it because it's distressed. It's at a value, right? Other things move up, like what was moving up while everything was going down? Luna was moving up, everything was going down. Waves was moving up, everything was going down, right? And so you knew those were on a different cycle. If you sold those when they were moving up, then when everything else is kind of sideways, they start crashing, right? And that's what we saw. So yeah, let's see. Looks like Cardano is bouncing from that golden mean, right? We're seeing some bounce, okay, which is good. It's supporting our theory that the next move, this may very well be this right here. Okay, let's just play this out. And I mean, look, we're on the hourly time frame. We just got a bullish cross on the momentum indicator for the Stochastic Rsi, so that's a really good sign. Yeah. Let's see what this would look like. Okay, so typically wave 3 projects to the 1618. Okay. And then the whole thing could go to 2236, typically. And that does match up more or less with your chart, okay? If you're looking at it, you definitely have some resistance right here. So that's the 2236 of this wave 1. So this is likely. One of the things I love about technical analysis is that, well, geometry is math too, but it's like you can use geometry and, mathematical proportions, and it all makes sense. It all comes together. So yeah, I just used math, Fibonacci extension, ratios to make that 5-wave progression, right? But then if I zoom out and I just kind of eyeballed it, I basically just projected the top of this range, right? And again, that would give me a big A, a big B, a pivot into my first impulsive wave. And then from that top of the range, I expect some resistance, okay? 3 waves, probably retest this right here, 58 cents, which is actually my buy for my leverage trade. So that's my that's my entry point, okay? And then from here, you can expect continuation. So that's what I'm seeing. It's just, again, it's not a crystal ball. It's just probabilistic. But you're using math. You're using technical analysis. And that's what technical analysis is. It's using math and using proportions to make probabilistic reads that are likely to give you an edge in trading. And what's Bitcoin doing all the while? So Bitcoin is putting in this B wave, which we know B waves typically go to between the 786 and the 914 of the previous wave. So wouldn't be surprised if we bounce off the 786 right here and continued up. This may be a standalone B wave, but I don't think so. I just think that we're going to get an impulse up here to attack this wave 4. Okay. Any other sort of altcoins you guys want to look at? Because, like I said, I think this is one of the best times, one of the best opportunities in history to invest in altcoins, right? And let's go into the general watch list. Link seems to be moving. That's well, it was popular before. I mean, it hasn't been doing really well in terms of price action, right? But we all know fundamentally very sound project. This was the bottom here. No, actually, I'm on the hourly time frame, so this was not the bottom. Link, yeah, you can see this is quintessential reversal right here. This was the bottom right here, around $5, almost exactly $5. Your initial break right here. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. So you see this A, B, C. This was A. This was A. And I just want to see how much this retraced. Okay, so it looks like it put in a zigzag, right? Because the retracement of B was in the golden pocket. And this, I think, was B right here. This was B. And then you had this may have been the full extent of the pivot, and this may be the impulse, or this, and this is the tough part of all this stuff, these patterns. This may be the A. You may have to expect another B before a move up. Okay, I don't know, but this looks like a proper reversal pattern, and obviously you want to confirm that. Make sure you have 5 waves coming down before you think of reversal. So looking at Link on the larger, so unlike Bitcoin, do you see how Link pretty much corrected quite a bit? You have here, you have 5 waves here. You have 5 waves. You get your first wave. It's really, the first wave's interesting, how it's so, the first wave is so muted, or so, it's so small compared to the third wave here. So that was a relatively simple wave 2, and then complex wave 4. See, WXY. It's a complex wave 4. So law of alternation here. And then a wave 5 with an ending diagonal, 53535. Or sorry, 33333, right? Ending diagonal. You see that right here? That only happens, and this morning I said wave 5 and wave C and wave X. No. It's only wave 5 and wave C. You get ending diagonals. Wave 5 and wave C. So here you see it. Sometimes it's a broadening wedge, sometimes it's a converging wedge, but here you see a converging wedge. Anyway, you get the point. I'm going to do it by hand. Right here. Yeah? So that's Link. And then if you pull your Fibonacci retracement tool, I'm on log, so that's proper, because I'm representing something that's $1 and $50 on the same chart. Look at where it bounced. Look at where it bounced. Like, look at that. This is what I'm talking about. This is historically great buying opportunity. Historically great. Because, fine, you could have bought Link in 2020 and, but did you know about Link? Not many people knew about Link, and, how are you buying it then? What are you buying? Who knows? Maybe it's like Happy, or maybe it's like another sort of oracle that's probably not going to do so well. It's probably not going to stick around. So you heard about Link, you heard about Link. It goes up a bunch, hits $50 all-time high. It comes down and it's crashing, and it's been crashing since May of 2021. That seems like, a good year of crashing, right? 380 days of crashing. And now you have an opportunity to get in at the bottom. Because again, wave 2, which this is, 1, 2, 3, very clearly, just like you saw in ADA. This is the beauty of good technical analysis. It shows you this, and it's highly it's highly probable that things play out like this. So you have a 3-wave move that takes you to the golden pocket, to the 618. Any buy of this asset at this price point is going to yield outsized returns. And I'm going to tell you exactly what the next target is, right? We're just going to use basic math as always. But my first question in zooming out was, okay, is this a reversal? Well, it can be an intra wave, right? We can get tricked, or it can be a reversal, but it's, if I got 5 waves, let's say this is A and this is B, if I count 5 waves down, which I believe I do, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is clearly an ending diagonal. You know that's an ending diagonal because wave 4 goes into the region of wave 2, okay? And that doesn't happen in a regular 53535 extension. And you have your kind of like pronounced or extended or exaggerated wave 5. That's textbook ending diagonal 33333. So this is highly likely a reversal pattern. Okay, and once again, that reversal pattern is, it looks like you have your first yeah, let me not overthink it. Because it could be a number of things, right? As we always see. Sorry. I don't know what I just did there. Let me redo that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Just zooming in. This looks like A right here. It takes forever. May 15th all the way to June just to make A. I think that's unlikely. I think this has to be A. But I don't like how I don't see 3 waves here. Let me drop down. I'm trying to count this reversal pattern, by the way. In chain link. Okay, let's see. I just want to see a little more. Yeah, that's not it. Even on the smaller time frames. Yeah, no. Okay, so what I thought, my first sort of inclination, I think, is the most correct. This was the A wave right here. This was B. And this was C. And this whole thing is big A. Right? And then this is your B, your big B. Right? And then this is, I anticipate, your pivot. Okay, it may be the beginning of the pivot, like I said, or it may be the end of the pivot, but you're in the pivot. But this region, we already know by zooming out, you are at a historically great buy region, right? You just buy and hold for the next target. And what's the next target? Large time frame. Very simple. You take your Fibonacci extension tool, right? Trend-based Fib extension tool, from the bottom of this purported wave 1 to the top, right, at $50. Retracement of wave 2, which comes to your golden mean of that prevailing 5-wave impulse. You're looking at a $1,800 chain link, right? That's the 1618. Again, that's a conservative thing. We know wave 3 can extend to the 4618 and the 5618, right? Those are extended waves. You can get extended wave 3s. Or you can get a truncated wave 3 at the 1. That's the minimum. But still, you're buying the bottom. You're buying a very distressed asset. It's been down for a year plus. And you're likely, with any buy from now, to make a 26,000% return on investment, right? So I mean, this is why this is a historically great buying opportunity. When you talk about a 26,000% buying or return on investment, usually you have to look, you have to scrape the bottom of the barrel on CoinMarketCap, like page 5 or 6, for a market cap of 50 million. Sub 50 million market cap, right, to make a sort of a 200 to 300x, 250x, right, which this would be. So this is why this is a great buying opportunity. These are historically great buying opportunities. And so Osman says, you probably heard of Gala and VRA, but if you haven't heard of Seek, check it out. I have never heard of Seek. Definitely heard of Gala and VRA. I used to hold VRA for quite some time and talk about it all the time on this channel. I put my VRA investment into Telcoin just because I thought Telcoin was even more distressed than VRA. and Seek. So let's have a look at Seek on Osman's recommendation. Let's see. Very promising project, Seek. So I love getting sort of recommendations from you all. I mean, that's how I found RSR. One of you guys told me about it. So yeah, not much information here, but we do know that this looks like some sort of reversal pattern and not necessarily a intra-wave correction, but we don't know because we don't have that much market information. Let's just go into CoinMarketCap really quickly. Okay, and let's just check this out. Again, I don't know if you guys know, but I don't only invest in things that have good charts. I definitely do some fundamental analysis. I don't do much fundamental analysis on the chart, but it's important to, because you never know. Sub 100,000, 100 million market cap. Okay, 172. That's pretty good. Let's see what it's about. And yeah, for those of you who don't know anything about CoinMarketCap, this is where I think one of the best places to go to do initial research on any token. So you just go here. Where is it? Yeah, it's usually in the overview, yeah? I'm looking at the overview. So it's a cryptocurrency and operates on an Ethereum platform. Last known price. It doesn't tell me much about it. Alright, let's just quickly go to the white paper and the website. I love doing, just going to the website and seeing if the website's any good. Because if you can't do a good website, right, that's Web 2, like, you're telling me you can launch a good Web 3 or Web 4 or whatever you want to call it project, No, I don't believe it. This looks like an impressive website. DeFi for music artists, sports, and content creators. Connecting music artists, athletes, and other digital content creators directly to their fans' virtual worlds. Interesting. Interesting. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, this is the future, guys. This is the future. Whoever figures this out, I mean, it's, this is something that, obviously, it's not the only one that's, Seek aren't the only ones doing this, but whoever figures this out is going to make a lot of money, right? Because it's a thing. A decent white paper. I'm not going to go through it in detail here, but yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. Very promising, some projects are like ahead of their time, and we may not see much of anything being adopted right now because it's ahead of technology. Like, I know people use VR, right? But like, it's not like something that's in every household, It's not like a cell phone, or it's not like a television or whatever, It's not that commonplace. But this is cool. Okay, let's see. Small time frames with Bitcoin up to. Looks like it hit that 786. Yep. See, right on the 786. That's usually where B waves like to bounce. 786, between the 786 and a 914, but 786 is usually the first place. Okay. I don't know if this A wave is a standalone or if it's part of a larger A wave. I don't know. But all I know is that after you put in this retrace, you're going to get another leg up, and that leg up is going to be impulsive. The question is that leg up, that impulsive leg up, going to be a part of this, or is this a standalone right here? That's the question. Don't know. Don't know. Okay, what's happening in other parts? Looks like the retest of this is going below the neckline here, right? Expecting Cardano to retest this neckline, broke below. Okay, interesting. What else? RSR looks like it's doing full retrace right here of this. So this is on a smaller time frame, right? If you're looking at this being a pivot, this is already proven to be big B. It has to, right? Dodo, what's it doing? Boom. Dodo's actually holding this level. Has ADA held the level that we discussed? Let's see. I think it's breached it, yeah? I think it's breached it, right? It's already halfway between the 618 and the 786. I think it's coming down, okay? If that's the case, then once again, you're looking at a big A, big B situation. I don't know. If it were to bounce now, it would just make it. I think it's literally... Or, again, so there's so many... This stuff is tricky because there's so many things that can happen, right? You can have, as I've noted, a leading diagonal, in which case that wave 2 doesn't necessarily stop at the 618 and go beyond and still be an impulse. That's the only time that you can reach 618 of wave 2, or of wave 1 rather, and still be in impulse, in a leading diagonal or an ending diagonal. So that could be going on. Not sure. I think that's likely because I see this as big A and big B, and this as the start of the impulse. Otherwise, all of this right here is big A, right? And that's wave 4 of the previous trend. That's the other possibility, okay? All that's big A. So you're looking at big B here. So you probably do want to come down to the 786-914 to form big B. Okay, that's the other possibility. That's probably even more likely, right? Occam's razor, the most likely scenario is usually the simplest, rather than to go into the direction of, calling for a low frequency event like a leading diagonal, relatively low frequency. You see them all the time, but not as much as you see regular diagonals. So we'll see. You gotta kind of read and react. Okay. Let's see. All right. Yeah, thanks, Osman. Thanks for that recommendation. Seek. I'm gonna look more into it. But generally speaking, like I said, now is a great time for investing in altcoins. Probably one of the best times in history, right? Give me another time you could have possibly made, 250x on Link, right? Link is not necessarily known for the flashiest, highest return altcoin, but this is mathematically one of the best times, if not the best time, to get in. And you have the understanding of where the cryptocurrency space, the world that we live in, the financial sector kind of regards, how they regard these assets, because they are on their balance sheets. They have already allocated relatively massive amounts of investments towards this space. So now is, I think, one of the best times. Looks like we're getting a bounce here, and we didn't hit the 786. So if this does bounce, it is possible that this is a wave 2. It is possible, right? And we do have that bullish cross on the RSI, Stochastic Rsi. So we will see. We will see. We will see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. We'll see. But I think, this bounce, whenever it happens, it's going to be soon. Very soon. Because this consolidation that we've been in has lasted something like 30 some odd days. And you don't get consolidations like that without a big move coming. And that next big move is likely to be to the top, as I've been saying, right? Because you went up, you retested. Bitcoin was really dramatic and, just created new lows. But in a lot of these altcoins, you didn't create new lows. You went up, you retested, you pivot, expect to go back up. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me. Don't want to drag this on. I think you guys get the point. I wish you the best of luck in this, this cycle, investing and trading, and just be safe, make smart decisions, allocate whatever you can afford to lose, perhaps. But invest in smart things and hold and let them appreciate. And I hope you guys all make life-changing wealth. All right, that's it for me. Take care. Have a great Tuesday. Bye.